Well, hello, and welcome back to the BackLog, and welcome back to Between Horizons. We are starting to uncover plots and things, and we've unlocked a new area, so let's go explore and see if we can discover what is going on. Hello? Paul? Paul, are you here? I got your message. Why are we meeting here? Uh-oh. What the? Makio! What's up, Chief? What are you doing? I need you to stay here for a while. I'll be back soon. Gotta take care of something. Take care of what? I've said too much. I may be a little drunk. Makio, let me out of here. This isn't funny. No, you're right, it isn't funny. It's dead serious, Chief. What are you talking about? Speak your mind. You want to chat? I'm your captive audience. Audience? This is supposed to be a dialogue, Chief. But you're not familiar with the concept. I get it. You're no better than your father, you know that? I feel silly for having a moment of hope when you took over. Frankly, I'm not sure what I was hoping for. Makio, did you... What? No, I didn't know what was happening to your dad. Though maybe the captain wanted to get rid of him or something. But that's beside the point. What is the point? The point? The point is, I want no kid... The point is, I don't want a kid next year. I don't want to work at the museum. I never wanted to be on the ship or part of its mission. How do you do it, Stella? Don't you have a will of your own, a brain, a heart? You think about that while I run some errands. The clock is ticking. See you soon, Chief. I have to warn Paul. My PDA is not connecting to the network. Maybe this weird chamber is blocking the signal. Or it could be that the server just locked me out? It's no use. I have to try something else.
For the first few seconds after Michio left, I panicked and I thought I might run out of air. Once I managed to calm myself down, I felt anger well up. Anger at Michio and at myself for falling into his trap. Whatever he was up to, I knew I needed to get out and stop him. The doors of the decontamination chamber were made of a thick glass and didn't have any handles. A control terminal on the side wall had been ripped out. I drew my gun and aimed it at the glass. Michio had to have considered that I was carrying it. For a second, I wondered if there was some gas in the room that would blow me to pieces once I pulled the trigger. I brushed the thought off and closed my eyes. The shot painfully rang in my ears. There was a small bullet hole in the door. I pulled the trigger a second time, a third time, but not a single crack started forming. I paused. I had 6 more bullets, but it started to look futile. Then I spotted it, a glowing control panel across the room. What if I tried to disable? Would the doors open, or would I trap myself for good? I took aim and held my breath.
That went better than I thought. I have to find that guy and stop whatever he's up to. Oh, Chief. Now this is awkward. Hands up, now. Mikio, I'm placing you under arrest. I understand. Just give me a second to weigh my options. You don't have any. Or maybe I do. For the first time in my life. Whatever you're thinking, don't... Oh! The first time in your death, perhaps. Mikio! What happened?
For a while after I woke up, I didn't move a muscle. I tried not to make myself aware of my body, to exist as little as possible. I stared at the ceiling, Michio's dead eyes staring back at me. The urgency of the situation around me had completely faded away. I finally noticed that Paul had entered my bunk and was trying to talk to me.
Stell. Did you hear what I said? Yes. It wasn't your fault. It was. How could I be so stupid? I knew about the server. Why would you want to meet me at the lab? You never call me Stella. Please, give me a minute, okay? Tell the captain I'm coming. You sure? Yes. Okay. We can talk later. Thank you for coming. Let's get right to it. The navigators say that we have approximately 4 hours left until we can no longer course correct. They continue trying to get back into the system, but they've remained unsuccessful so far. There's a good chance one of them is the hacker, still actively sabotaging their efforts. 4 hours are a very short time frame for finding the culprit, persuading them to let us back in, and then initiating the maneuver. But there is some good news. Enforcer Bodo just informed me that we were able to break open the maintenance room and locate the secret server. We've decided to leave it turned on and connected for now, so we can extract data identifying the insurgents. The only reason we haven't done this yet is the 4-digit pin protecting the server. Our enforcers in the brig have been questioning the suspects we captured about it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to extract any information from historian Michio before his passing. Assistant caretaker Ocean has apparently divulged information that could be useful. And finally, as soon as we learned of Michio's involvement with the group, enforcers raided his bunk. They found Engineer Geraldo hiding out there and brought him to the brig for questioning. It seems like they were able to extract some partial information on the pin out of him. I'm forwarding everything we have to your PDA. On a different note, a crowd has been gathered at the residential area. The nature of this gathering is not entirely clear, but it seems spontaneous rather than centrally organized. People want answers and are exchanging information amongst themselves. I understand it. But if tensions boil over, the situation may quickly turn volatile. We've posted enforcers on the scene to keep an eye on the crowd. In addition, we have temporarily locked access to and from the public and residential areas. Our forces are already stretched thin, and too many things are happening we need to keep tabs on. Stay vigilant, as we are at our most vulnerable right now. Yeah, you should totally address the crowd. With all due respect, Captain, it sounds like it could be resolved if you addressed the crowd personally. To tell them what? They're not out of the woods yet. I will talk to the population as soon as we have all the answers we're looking for. Which leads me to my final point. I need you to bring me the person who hacked the navigation. If you can't find them now, it will be too late. And Chief, it may sound harsh, but historian Michio brought this about himself. We will hold his funeral when all this is over. Now is not the time for grief or reflection. Understood. Dismissed. This is your final case. Submitting it sets in motion an unstoppable series of events that will decide the Zephyr's future. Before crossing this point of no return, tie up any loose ends that may still exist. Oh. Okay. We're on to the final case, everyone. Let's get going and figure out what's going on and who we can trust. Okay, first things first. Fuel is running out in the ongoing maneuver. We have little time. She's keeping secrets. Look, I'm trying to help you. Try harder. It started with a 7. I'm sure about that. 7845? 7465? I remember the last one being a 5. What kind of amateur revolt is this? Stop messing with me. You have to remember the full thing. Look, we didn't write it down anywhere for safety. I barely ever touched that device. Okay, so what are we looking for? Assign a person to the session. Okay, who hacked the thing? Okay. Navigator Joseph, Asher, and Noella, as well as Eric, seem to know something important about the ship's new destination. Let's go talk to them. We've got to go talk to them real quick. And there was a command area ping. Okay, well, I totally missed at least 2 of them. That would have been helpful, but you only need 3 apparently. Aha, Noella. Alright, what's the secret? Could I borrow your attention again for a moment? Navigator Joseph was at the captain's office earlier. Do you know why? No idea, Chief. Wait, what? This sprite doesn't match this sprite. They said something about Otis and Iris. Iris? Otis is a star. We've known for a long time. Nothing secret about it. So neither of you know what Joseph wanted from the captain? No. Are you sure? Why don't you ask Joseph? Of course, I'm asking him too. Is this all you have to say? Stella. Noella. My dad messaged me about everything that went down at the captain's office. Oh, thank you for not locking him up. He said he was very surprised you let him go. Well, it was my judgment that he didn't pose a direct threat. He did the right thing. I know he doesn't want me to tell you, but I feel like you should know the truth about Otis. The captain told you about the course change. Yes. Did she tell you where we're going? She said there's another star there. Not just a star, Stella, a planet. She didn't tell you about Otis B, did she? Tell me what? Noella, what are you saying? My dad was working late one night when a message from Earth came in. The captain was with him. Our plotted course was going to get us very close to a star called Otis. Extremely close in interstellar travel terms. Of course, we knew this already, and we thought we knew everything about Otis, since long before the Zephyr was even built. But the message that night changed everything. What? Tell me what it said. One of the planets in the system has become viable, fit for human life. What? That's impossible. Earth has developed a new terraforming technology. Could we do it? Could we go and live on this planet? It seems that way. So, did the mission change? No. This was supposed to say a secret, only for the captain's eyes. Why for her eyes? Why wouldn't they tell any one of us? If they want us to go to Eritis D, it makes no sense to me. Did you see the message? No. Only my dad and Talia did. You're saying we could be breathing a natural atmosphere within just a few years? That's what you're saying? Yes. Have you told anyone else? No. It's been very hard. We've been wrestling with it for months. Our closest approach was going to come up next week, and I've been feeling the pressure mounting every day. I think my dad's felt the same for a while, but we try to avoid the topic. This is a lot. Listen, Stella, I don't know either why Earth informed us about this, and I don't fully understand why we aren't ordered to change course right then and there. Our mission is to bring humanity to a new planet, so why not this one? Noella, did you change the ship's course? No, I swear I didn't. Were you going to do anything? I don't know. But you know what I think? I think Talia's son got too close to the truth. Curtis? Why do you think so? We were pretty close up until recently. I often saw him at work or on my way there. But he started acting paranoid a few weeks ago, and it got worse pretty quickly. I asked him about it multiple times, but he kept beating around the bush. When he was put in the psych ward, it seemed like Talia tried to avoid addressing it completely. But of course she had to say something about it eventually, and it was very cryptic, if you remember. She said he was acting overly paranoid. Didn't you just say the same? Yes, but what if he actually had reason to? What if he was afraid Talia had put him away and medicated to keep him from talking? So you think he found out the truth about Otis? Or maybe Talia told him about it in confidence? Yes, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I would have asked him already if I was allowed to visit him in the psych ward. I can visit anyone there as long as I say it's for a cause. That's what I was getting at. I'll talk to him. I should definitely see what he has to say. Otis B clearly plays a huge role in all of this, and maybe Curtis knows something crucial about it. Thank you for telling me all this. Good luck, Stella. I hope you do the right thing. I hope I do too.
It's hard to describe what I felt in that moment. It was like the prospect of spending my life on a planet would not fit into my brain. It had taken me so long to come to terms with the fact that I would die on the ship. I didn't want to relitigate the issue just to set myself up for more disappointment. For a good while, I tried not to think about it at all. Talia had clearly kept this from me, and I began to wonder what else she was hiding. Her story still didn't fully make sense. How could we use that new technology? Wouldn't Earth have to send something? Materials? Blueprints? Would they even work with us at all if we failed to complete the mission? Besides, terraforming was a process that could take decades or even hundreds of years. There were so many questions I could have asked, maybe should have asked, if only I had taken 2 seconds to think about it logically.
But I didn't think about it logically. I decided just to rush around like a crazy person. It's just a shame I can't talk to the people in the brig. All right. I gotta go to the psychiatric department. Maybe I find the pin for the server. Server finally accessible, but it seems to be protected with a 4-digit pin. Yes, and he... Seven five. Okay, helpful. Just need 2 numbers. All right, let's go to the psych ward. Curtis. Yes, we need to talk to Curtis. Nurse Onara, is Assistant Captain Curtis here? Yeah. Is it possible for me to talk to him? To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. What does that mean? The captain seems very concerned about his condition and what he might say to people. And she disallowed all visits to him? She implied it, but she also knows that decisions like this are at the discretion of the medical staff. And so what does the medical staff say? I'll open the doors for you. Thank you. Curtis, got a chat? What do you know about Otis B? Oh, there we go. Curtis, my man, my boy. Assistant Captain Curtis, I need to talk to you about something very important. Do you feel like you're in the right state of mind? Are you asking me if I'm not too crazy to be a reliable source? No, I'm asking if you're too medicated. No, I'm barely getting any meds at this point. My mom pushed for stronger medication when we got here, but they stopped giving me that stuff after a few days. In that case, I need to ask you something. I overheard an argument between Navigator Joseph and Talia earlier. Do you have any idea what that could have been about? I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with her style, so not in particular. So there's nothing that the Navigator specifically may know about? What are you getting at? All right, listen. I've received information that you may have been looking into Talia's affairs. Wait, did she put you up to this? No. On the contrary, she seems to be hiding something, and I want to know what you were able to out. You were trying to dig into Talia's secrets. What was it that you were after? Let it go. It would just make things more complicated if you knew. Did she have you thrown in here when you confronted her? No, nothing like that. I didn't confront her about anything. So you were trying to get her into her computer? Her PDA records? And where in the ship would I get my hands on those? Show Curtis the correct series of clues to answer his questions. He won't talk unless you show him that you have him dead to rights. Okay. So. Her PDA records. Where would I go to get my hands on those? Okay. Everybody shut up. We're doing this now. Medical data terminal, food network terminal, energy recycling terminal, PDA network terminal. That's not a place on the ship. I'm asking where I would go to get access to a network like this. So it would be the network access point, I guess, but I'm not cleared to be down there. I would had to break in, and I doubt you have proof of forced entry. Oh, do I? Proof of forced entry into the network area. Yeah, okay, so I mean, that looks like pretty forced entry to me. That doesn't mean anything. But assuming just for a second I was down there, what network would I have tried to get into? Oh, well, yeah, that's the one I just showed you. You stole backups from the PDA network, didn't you? Stella. And I saw you that night, didn't I? It was an accident. I swear. I didn't mean for things to go down that way. You killed my dad. Stella, I couldn't have possibly known that. You killed my dad. Assistant Captain Curtis. I'm placing you under arrest for the murder of Chief of Security. I'm so sorry for what happened. Please, listen to me. No. We'll have a proper conversation in the brig, and then you're going to stay there for a long, long time. The brig? What difference will it make in this place? My own mother locked me away already. I'm stuck in a room on the ship now, and we're always going to be stuck on the ship together. So we're always going to have to work together. Not if I shoot you. Then I wouldn't be able to tell you what I found. I know the truth about Otis B. What else could you possibly have to offer me? No. I know we don't have to be stuck on the ship. How did you get your hands on this message? I didn't. I was told about it. So tell me one reason not to... Do you know who sent the message? Of course. It came from Earth. Did Talia tell you that? Why would you believe her? What does it matter? Stella, why would Earth tell us about this? Don't you think they'd anticipate a huge risk of abandoning the mission? Who else would... The message was sent from another ship. Another ship. But we're the only one. The one egg in the second basket. Not anymore. Now we're just the backup egg in the third basket. Are you messing with me? You're just saying anything now to get out of this? Or maybe Talia keeps lying to you and everybody else. She would protect the mission at any cost. Of course, she doesn't want anyone to know about the Iris. The Iris? Joseph mentioned that name to her. Tell me everything you know. If you're lying about this, I will shoot you later. Twice. Deal. Stella, I didn't mean to harm you or William. I saw an opportunity to create a distraction and it went horribly wrong. For what it's worth, I think about the events of that night every day. It's eaten me up. I don't care that you suffer. Do you have any idea how I feel? I know. I understand. What is the Iris? I only know what the message said. They were forbidden from contacting us, but someone on the ship went rogue. They thought we should know. There were known risks when the Zephyr was first conceived, but humanity was desperate. Many of those risks were associated with the length of its mission. A lot can change in 130 years, especially technology. They considered that maybe a better propulsion method would come along just a decade later that cut the travel time in half. Or that another nearby planets would become viable for human life while the Zephyr was already en route to Otis. And the latter is actually what happened. They were already drawing up plans for another generation ship at that point. As soon as the Iris was finished, it set course for Otis B. All this happened years ago, unbeknownst to anyone here. When we received that communication a few months ago, the Iris was a mere 2 years away from the Otis system. So it's not even technically a generation ship. The total travel time is just about 25 years. So we might even meet other humans? If we changed course to Otis, yes, they'd already be there. Curtis, we have changed course. Or rather, we still are. What? Why do you think the power went out? The engine was turned on without proper procedure and caused a full reboot. If we don't course correct within the next few hours, we will be en route to Otis for good. No. Don't pretend like you didn't know about this. I had no idea, I swear. I thought... You didn't orchestrate this whole thing? Stella, I'm telling the truth. I have no interest in being shot twice. Besides, how would I pull that off? I was barely able to talk to anyone for the past month. You were using the secret server. I have no idea what you're talking about. Without my PDA, I can't connect to any server, secret or otherwise. That's a good point. I have to find the culprit and force them to let us back into the system. Do you have the slightest idea who it could have been? If they're trying to get to Otis B, then I assume they know we could settle there. They don't necessarily know about the Iris. Just that there's a new terraforming technology we may be able to use. Whoever got wind of that and is sick of life on the ship, that's your guy. Agreed. I have to go find them before it's too late. Curtis, I forgive you. After all, my father wasn't perfect himself. I forgive you for what you did. I understand it was an accident. Thank you. Stella, do you want us to course correct back to Eurydice? It is our mission.
My head was spinning. For over a month, the mystery surrounding my dad's death had constantly occupied my mind. There was a brief moment of relief, a weight lifted off my shoulders when I found out who was responsible and why he did what he did. The feeling was immediately overshadowed when I realized the scope of the situation. Everything finally fell into place. Of course, Earth had never told us about Otis B. Of course, the Zephyr would never be able to terraform it. The Iris was the final missing piece that the captain had tried to keep from us. I couldn't fathom the possibility of meeting other people on Otis B. How many were there? What were they like? I started daydreaming of blue skies on an alien world, an ocean of friendly faces in unfamiliar uniforms. Looking back, I felt isolated on the Zephyr. I harbored hope that meeting people in a new context would be my chance to reinvent myself and my place in society. At the same time, I realized how selfish my thoughts were. It would be pointless to go to Otis B knowing that humans were already settling there, when our whole mission was to bring humanity to a new place.
And of course, this is always the ongoing question of a generation ship, of ethically, how can you demand of the next generation and the next generation and the next generation that they be forced to fulfill your dream, no matter how dedicated the initial crew is. How can we be sure, and how can we be right in demanding that our descendants fulfill that mission, uphold that mission, even understand that mission? All right, Isaac, you want to talk?
What's going on up there, Chief? Our people are gathering in the residential area.
Yeah, I guess they're discussing the situation.
Must be nice to have the time. I can't leave this place for a minute with the amounts of debris coming in. I can barely keep the machines from overheating.
If someone can, it's you. Appreciate the hard work.
Thanks, Chief. Oh no, that light shouldn't be flashing.
All right, Captain, I need access to the people. I need to talk to people, either to get the access to the security numbers so that I can do the... Captain! Captain! All right, let me just sit down and think about it. Let me think about it. Okay, I can't find Asher. I talked to Noella. Joseph doesn't want to talk. Is Eric the kid? Oh, that's Elliot. Where's Eric? There he is. Oh. Seems a little standoffish. Yeah. Let's go talk to Eric. Oh, hey. Aaron, what do you got?
Hey, Chief. Everything all right?
Not much is all right lately. What do you mean?
I mean, have you heard from the captain?
Heard what?
Anything, really. We're feeling a bit out of the loop down here. We've been hard at work trying to get everything back up and running, but we don't really know what happened, and why.
The truth is, we're still figuring everything out ourselves. As soon as we know everything, the captain will make a statement.
But you must know something already. Why don't you share that?
I don't know. It's not up to me.
I'm just saying, I think the guys down here are getting a little impatient.
Yes, I think we all are. Farid, how's it going?
Chief, down here again. I didn't know you joined the ranks of us engineers.
You know, I've always been interested in engineering.
And yet you were born the daughter of the chief. Must be tough.
It is, honestly. You seem to have such a nice camaraderie going down here.
You know what they say, it's lonely at the top.
Really? Never heard that before. And technically, since you are spinning, and you are on the inside of the spinning drum, then the bottom is the top, because that's the up direction that you would go. It's tricky. This is not it. This is not the right one. That's the network communication node. We want the server room. Here it is. That's where we saw him last. Eric. You. Talia's Secret or Otis B? What did my evidence say? Oh. Know something important about the ship's new destination. Yeah. Ship's destination, Otis B.
I've nothing to say about that right now.
This evidence is classified. Okay, we might have to actually just pour over everything we've ever possibly learned. Very little time before, of course, no change back. I need to see if I'm able to figure out the culprit based on everything I've learned. Yeah, so just all of this in general. All right, I'm going to do some reading. Okay, wait. This one says that Noella, Orland, Joseph, Eric, and Asher had access to it. Orland, Joseph both don't feel right. Joseph would have said something about it. He wouldn't just hack it. Noella already said that she didn't. So it's Eric or Asher, and I have no access to Asher. Okay, he says that he was resting in his bunk. I don't have a way to actually verify that. Let's see what Eric said before. Oh, he has not said much. Yeah, okay, so this narrows it down to just these. Joseph has already had the opportunity to do something and he hasn't. Can't talk to Asher, but really wish I could. And Noella, I've already talked to them, so it's looking like Eric. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to go off of. I think this is the most tenuous that we've put, because, I mean, it could still be Asher. So he's not a navigator, but he has access to the navigation room, but he is an engineer, so he also has access to programming and server stuff. Whereas the other ones don't, other than Noella, but she's already said that she doesn't. She's unwilling to make the steps to get there. So I'm going to have to, this is kind of a guess. This is the most tenuous one we've had so far. I don't like it, but we're doing it. Yes? This is it. Ooh, solve all cases correctly. Haha. We got him. We guessed right. Eric, it makes so much sense. I have to go find him fast and bring him to the bridge. No time to lose.
In the final hour before things came to a head, you could cut the tension in the command area with a knife. The crew knew that there was very little time left to save the mission. The population, meanwhile, knew barely anything at all, which understandably upset them. By now, Talia had ordered a partial lockdown of the ship for fear of intervention. It was an unprecedented move, a drastic decision even by her standards. She barely even seemed to trust the crew around her. It was somewhat understandable, but I couldn't help but feel that she had some responsibility for her predicament. She had increasingly avoided direct communication with the general population for a long time, and now she was afraid they would make their voices heard no matter what. She was probably aware of the bitter irony herself.
Move. Wait. What's my son doing here? I have no idea. Dad. Navigator Eric. We have known each other for decades. We stepped foot on this ship together. I never imagined you could betray us all like this. And portray yourself. You accepted the same mission as everybody here, after all. What's my son doing here? He is the reason, isn't he? His condition. Once you heard that there was a chance of a planetary life for him, you took it. But you chose for all of us, not just him. Some of us care about our children, Captain. Tread lightly. Take him to the brig, Bodo.
With pleasure.
Wait. What about undoing the hack? I thought we needed him. I thought so too, but Navigator Joseph was able to regain control over the system just a moment ago. We can correct our course as soon as it's done rebooting. No, please. Joseph, you're killing my son. Eric, your son wants to serve the mission, as a matter of fact. He literally won't be able to. He'll die before he even completes his training. He told me he didn't want to sabotage it. Isn't that right, Assistant Navigator Elliot?
Yes, Captain.
He's a child. He doesn't fully understand what this means, and you know it well. I merely asked him what he wanted. For the first time in your life, you raging hypocrite.
Shut up and move.
Now,
Captain, we have a problem. Some people broke through. I think they're on their way here. They're following me, but I lost them at the elevator when they marched into the brig.
what? What are their intentions?
I'm not sure. Chaos broke out in the residential area. It happened so quickly. They overpowered some of the enforcers there. I was barely able to get away. I'm sorry, Captain.
It's okay, Yaha. Ava?
What is this? I think you know what this is, Talia.
Just say the word, Captain. Chief?
Stop this madness now. Where did you get those weapons, Ava? From the locker room. Mikio was able to get us access right before you killed him. He attacked me. It was an accident. Put down your weapons now. You don't even know how to operate them. Oh, we know. Want me to prove it? What do you want? You read the letter, Stella. You know what we want. More democracy? In the long term, yes. But let's start out with something very concrete. We know about Otis B. We demand a vote. Let the people decide where they want to go. Everybody cast their vote long ago when they set foot on this ship. I was born on this ship. I never voted for anything. Did you, Stella? No? No, I didn't. I'm sure you'd like to have some agency over your own life for once. Ava, not like this. Don't be naive, Stella. There's no other way to affect real change. The ethics committee was informed of our concerns time and time again, but of course they fell on deaf ears. Maybe not all of us want their parents' job. Maybe not all of us want a child at 35. And maybe not all of us want to die out here. We're done asking nicely. We're holding a vote. I'd rather avoid bloodshed, but that's up to you.
Those are pretty big words for a little girl.
You know, I'd like to shoot you specifically either way.
Chief, you heard her loud and clear. Requesting permission to fire.
Stop. Permission denied. Ava, lower your weapon. Not a chance. You alone are in control of the situation here, Stella. The executive branch is all yours, for better or for worse. Make the right choice. Tell your people to stand down. Chief, listen to me. This mission is so much bigger than all of us here. Billions of people already cast their vote. They entrusted us with this responsibility, this incredible privilege to serve humanity. It is not up to you or me or even all of us put together to abandon it. We're not abandoning anything. We're putting the mission's target planet up to a vote. It's simply not up to us. The Codex states clearly that betraying the mission or not is not a choice anyone is authorized to make. I am able to strip you of your powers immediately if you directly... Oh, snap! Now, it's just up to you. Talia!
You've done it now.
Bondo, stand down. Everyone, stand down! This was completely unnecessary. Start the vote. I know you want to. I know you haven't been happy in a long time. This is your first step towards... This is not looking good, Chief. This is why you've been trying to get close to me. And you too, Lewis? Just to manipulate me when the time is right? You've been manipulated your whole life, but not by me or Lewis. I swear, I genuinely like you, Stella, and I don't want to shoot you. How is the captain, Aldrich?
It looks pretty bad, but she is breathing.
Somebody call Dr. Yaha, now. What's it going to be, Stella? We have to hold a vote. Chief, with all due respect, we cannot have any more bloodshed. Besides, how else do you expect us to go forward? Even if they lay down their weapons, we'll continue to be trapped on the ship forever. Do you want to turn the residential area into a second brig? She's right, Dad.
You have to be kidding me.
It's not your call, Enforcer Botto. Get Dr. Yaha for the captain. Now.
Copy that.
Let's get this started. We don't have much time. The wording of this broadcast is going to play a huge role in how people vote. That's why I wanted all of us to be here and discuss it together. We have to make it quick. The navigators are standing by. They haven't touched the controls yet, but we have no more than an hour left until the fuel's depleted.
People don't even know about Otis yet.
I'm still processing it myself, and I've known for weeks now. How did you find out anyway? That doesn't matter now. I'll tell you after all of this is over. I agree, it's a lot to take in and base an important decision on, but there's nothing we can do about that. Democracy isn't perfect. We have to trust the people to do the right thing.
Because that's never turned out to be a terrible idea.
Aren't you a history teacher? We hold a vote, and that's final. What do we need to discuss? We're going to need a paragraph about Otis B and the new terraforming technology, as well as one informing everyone about our argument. The people will need to know that the crew is on board with this course of action and will honor the vote. Fine.
How are people going to cast their votes?
Some foolproof anonymous system would be best, but I suggest we use PDA messages. We should read and evaluate them together as they come in. Can we use your PDA for that, Stella?
Mine?
Sure. Is there anything else you want to include in the broadcast? Oh, yeah, tell them about the iris. Actually, there is. I think people should know the full truth to make an informed decision.
The truth about what?
I'm working myself up to it. How do you think we learned the truth about Otis B? Earth never wanted us to know. There's another ship like ours, the Iris.
What? Another generation ship?
Not technically, since they're reaching their goal in just one generation. They're about to reach Otis B. You're saying we'd meet other people?
Listen.
At this point, I have to advocate for Otis B. We would meet other people. I know it's a huge argument for Otis B to a lot of people, but I think they deserve to know. Are you serious? This is real? Navigator Joseph will corroborate it. He was there when the message came in. You can ask him once we're on the navigation.
Stell, I can't believe you didn't tell me about this.
It's very new to me, too. Okay, great. Now it's even more to process. Let's add it to the paragraph about Otis B. Yeah. Thank you for telling us. Navigator Joseph, we've tallied the votes.
You really told everyone about the iris? I've been considering it for so long.
I thought everyone deserved to know about the possibility of meeting other people.
Did it sway their votes?
Maybe. They did vote to abandon the mission. We're going to Otis B.
So, I don't correct the course?
No. Let the ship finish its maneuver.
I suppose Eric will be thrilled.
I have a feeling it won't just be him. Captain Ava. Stella, what can I do for you? We need to talk. Yeah, we do. You murdered her, Ava. Is this the foundation you want for your new democracy? The leader's murderer assuming power? That sounds like more like a system from the Stone Age. Name a democracy that didn't emerge from bloodshed. Besides, I was voted into this position. There wouldn't have been a vacancy if you hadn't killed her first. Why did you do it? It wasn't my plan. You just shot her on a whim? I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I wanted you in charge in that moment. There was no talking to tell you. There were other ways. You don't know that. You don't know how much more would have escalated with her in charge. The moment was crucial, and I couldn't have her get in the way. I didn't mean for her to die. That tends to happen when you shoot someone. You wanted me in charge? You were next in the chain of command in that room. I thought you'd be able to view things my way because you're smart and compassionate and young. Old people have a disproportionate say in how societies run on this ship, and probably long before it took off. Talia wasn't that old. She was more than twice our age and had much less left to live. Yet she wielded all the power over our future. That's because with age comes wisdom. By that logic, you want toddlers running the ship? Now you're purposefully twisting my words. No, just bringing them to their ultimate end. Our generation was born powerless. I know you've been feeling it all your life. Everybody deserves an opportunity to make their own destiny. That sounds great in theory, but there have to be compromises. There are 1,300 people here, but the ship can only go into a single direction. Well, that's what voting is for. Fair enough. Did you realize that letting people vote on our course would open the floodgates the way it did? Do you mean that people now want to vote on everything? Honestly, it wasn't entirely clear to me. Stella, I am sorry. I know what she meant to you. I didn't want to put you through something like this again. I mean, honesty being best policy and all. I found out who's responsible for my father's death. It was Curtis. He confessed everything to me a month ago.
Curtis?
It's a long story. I'll tell you eventually. Okay. Wait. Do you think he's dangerous to anyone else? No, he's not a killer. It was an accident. Still, we have to bring him before the ethics committee. They'll convene tomorrow. Did you prepare your statement about Mikio?
Yes.
I told them it must have been an accident. Not like you're one to talk.
Fair enough.
I do know that serious punishments have been taken off the table given the volatility of the whole situation. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, if that's all you wanted to talk about, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. What did you vote for? I voted to go to Otis.
Really?
Thank you for coming. I'm glad we had this talk.
Me too. It was a good start.
When you're all stuck in a place together, how do you judge or punish your fellow captives? And after a period of turmoil and unrest, who even judges whom in the end? The people who happen to come out on top certainly aren't innocent either. The ethics committee struggled with this problem and decided early on that there wouldn't be any severe punishments such as lengthy prison sentences. Of course, pretending that nothing happened wasn't an option either. We had to strike a balance to keep our little society somewhat functional. It took us months to work through all the accusations and evidence. Between certain individuals, some residual animosity can still be felt to this day. There was a long debate about whether Eric's decision to divert the ship's course was selfish or selfless. Everybody believed his claim that the power outage had been accidental, but that didn't take away from its catastrophic consequences. 4 people had died, and many more had suffered severe and long-lasting injuries. At least the damages to the ship turned out to be mostly superficial. The ethics committee noted that, regardless of his intent, motive, or state of mind, Eric's actions had been incredibly reckless. He spent the weeks leading up to his sentencing in the brig. The ethics committee revoked his access to the bridge and permanently relegated him to the inner hull. Once people had voted against carrying out the mission, a chain reaction of changes unfolded throughout the ship. Everything was suddenly up for debate. Hierarchies, career choices, offspring. The dissidents had essentially won in the court of public opinion and were largely spared prosecution for their actions. Curtis was put on trial for my father's death. The fact that he had tried to attain information through illegal means only ended up playing a very minor role. His case was discussed by far the longest, regarding transgressions that had occurred on that fateful arrival day and in its chaotic aftermath. The ethics committee had decided to be lenient. However, Curtis's crime had been committed weeks prior and couldn't be blamed on a volatile environment. On the other hand, the ethics committee accepted early on that he hadn't intended to kill or even hurt anyone. Due to the extreme recklessness of his actions, he was ultimately barred from ever holding the position of captain. He did not spend any more time in the psych ward or the brig. I was thoroughly questioned about my role in the whole ordeal. My decision to make the iris a matter of public record was not punished in any way. On the contrary, it was generally well received. The main charge against me was the use of excessive force against Michio, resulting in his death. Our final encounter haunts me to this day. I'll never forget the way he collapsed, the endless amounts of blood spilling out onto the floor. I immediately rushed to provide first aid, but as soon as I saw his blank eyes staring back at me, I knew there was nothing I could do. My memory of the following hour or two is still very fuzzy. I know I called Paul and just sat there until he arrived. Someone brought me to my bunk and helped me wash off the blood. Then I fell asleep on my bed for a while. Even though he attacked me first, I fully blame myself for Michio's death. I kept thinking about alternative ways the whole thing could have played out. The ethics committee ultimately ruled that I shot him in self-defense. I didn't receive any formal punishment, which left me with mixed feelings. Dad died a little over 3 years ago. It's actually arrival day today, but that no longer means anything. Well, except for one thing. We just received another communication from Earth. It's the first one since we came clean about the course change. I don't know yet how they took it, but I assume they're pretty disappointed. The captain forwarded one message to me directly hours ago. It's time I watched it.
Hello, my beautiful daughter. I don't even know where to begin. I hope you're safe and sound out there. I'm not going to lie, a lot of people on Earth are pretty pissed at you. But you know what? I say, good for you. I'm glad the Sparrow decided to spread its wings and fly free. Mission Control left you in the dark about your options, which I never supported. I'm proud of you for figuring it out. Nobody here has any idea how you did it. Thank you for trying to tell us all those years ago, Mom. Ever since they said we'd reestablish contact with you, I thought about this next part. I was devastated to hear about William's passing. I thought you'd have so much time left together. I hope you're holding up okay. I wish I could be there for you. It's hard for me to say much more about it. You know him so much better at this point than I probably ever did. But I do know that the man I remember would want you to come into your own. I don't know how things work on the ship now that you've changed course. I just want you to know that you can do whatever you set your mind to. I wish you all the success in the universe. Thank you, Mom.
Stell? Stell? Are you in there?
I'm in here. Come in.
Listen, Oh, Chi-Chi almost slipped out.
Yeah, she keeps trying to do that. Do you think I should just let her go?
As in, let her roam free?
Yeah, give her a shot at being an outside pet.
I mean, she wouldn't be the only one on the ship. They seem to handle themselves just fine.
Let her out. Open the door.
You sure?
Yeah, she clearly wants it.
If you say so.
Chi-Chi. See you soon, Chi-Chi.
Listen, Stell, we're about to establish contact with the Iris again. We're getting so close now, we can almost talk without any delay. It's time to discuss our next steps together. Captain wants you to be there for it.
Sounds exciting. I'm ready. Lead the way.
All right, let's go. Oh, I almost forgot. Happy Arrival Day, Stell.
Happy Arrival Day.
And there you have it.
Between Horizons. Pulling up some interesting ethical quandaries, which I certainly appreciate. What do you do in this situation where you've been given the option for freedom? Oh, I reached ending number 27812. Okay, I cracked all 10 cases. Optional encounters discovered 21. Dissidents apprehended out of 4. Oh, there was another dissident I could have apprehended. 123 clues corrected. 823 scans. Ava was the Zephyr's captain in the end. The people of the Zephyr decided to abandon their mission. Chi-Chi returned to her home. Oh, okay, she came back home, yeah. You found out who hacked the Zephyr's navigation. You did not discover the leader of the dissident group. That was a thing I could do? No. You found the person responsible for William's death. That was probably Aaron, but I didn't talk to him before I went to go answer the thing. So I probably would have gotten Aaron. Do we get credits? No, let's roll the credits here. We usually roll the credits at the end of a playthrough. So here's all the people. Good job, developers. Special thanks. Yes, very good. Publishers, development people, fantastic. Interesting ethical quandaries here. And I think I had to choose that way because once there was already the option once there was already the dissidence, once there was already the disunity and the disharmony, getting to the end to allow people to do their own thing, to allow people the freedom to build their own colony is just the best way forward. Trying to build unity after that and have a unified crew, even though you had a disunified course, that would have been just so hard and would have been baggage for many generations. So once that was made available, honestly, the captain probably should have told everybody about it sooner. Just to be above board. I understand that on an arc ship like this, there would definitely need to be less democracy and more of a totalitarian regime. And usually that's what people come to when discussing this sort of a thing. And there's good reasons for that. You need to have a unity. You need to have a consistency. You need to have one person or one small group of people who are unified making the ultimate decisions. Making people vote on everything is kind of a fool's errand in this sort of a situation. Once you make it down to planetfall, once you've got your terraforming going, once you have established your colony, then yes, absolutely have a democratic election, set up a constitutional republic like we have here in America, do whatever you're doing. But man, we start running into anarchy almost at that point, running that fine line between anarchy and democracy, which is really dangerous for a mission like this, where everything requires everybody working all the time, and doing what they have to. So this is why I really love arc ship stories. They're a microcosm of a greater ordeal, of a greater plan going on. And it's just really cool. I just really love it. Great job Between Horizons. Only a couple of problems that I noted along the way. The big problem is the ring suddenly stopping just because it ran out of power. You can see there's no thrusters on the outside of the ring, so it would just keep spinning no matter what. Why do you have projectile weaponry on board to kill people? You don't want that on a spaceship. Specifically, that should not be anywhere around. You should use taser bolts or beanbag rounds or something else, rubber bullets, even. Just horrible idea taking live rounds on a spaceship. Just bad idea. You don't want to puncture holes in things. And there was one more. If they knew this star was closer, even if they couldn't terraform it, it would still be easier. If their goal is to make more people in different baskets, it would still be easier for them to send this ship out to orbit around a planet that they can't land on and mine asteroids and live in giant cylinders that are much bigger than this. Think Babylon 5 kind of size, where you've got county or even state-sized land masses on the inside, breathing air with Earth-like gravity. They should have still gone to that same star no matter what. That's all I'm saying. Great story. I love what you're doing here Between Horizons. I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for more of this, because this is good stuff. And thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for joining us on this journey to Otis B here on the BackLog. I'll play with you again later.